Hello everyone, it's Jerry at the Fledge, and welcome to another episode of Every Damn Day. And today we've got Capital Pro Wrestling here. So wrestling starts at 3, and they've got the ring all set up where I usually shoot. They take over our live room as a locker room, and they take over our sound booth as a photo booth. So today we're outside, and I also want to give a shout out to Release Fitness. And all that they're doing out there, and I think our guest might even have a small story about her. So let's get to our guest. What's up, Daphne?
Hey, how are you, Jerry?
I am doing well. How are you doing today?
I'm doing real good. Glad to be here.
What you been up to today?
I have gotten up this morning, did my little to-do list, went out in my garden, picked a couple of vegetables, and got myself situated to come over here and meet with you.
Oh, thank you so very much. Who would you like to give a shout out to?
First and foremost, I want to give a shout out to the Fledge and to Lee for the incredible coursework, resources, things that I learned while I was a part of the last cohort. And then as well, I want to give a shout out to 2 people specific, 3, Jerry, Millie, and Rachel, that kind of walked me through everything with Lee. And then a shout out to my niece, Kiera Lanice Ray. She's a makeup artist, professional, travels the world. I've been very, very excited for her here in Lansing. She has been in the newspaper, on TV with regard to what she's doing in the fashion and makeup industry. So shout out to her as well.
That's weird because yesterday I was at Ray of Sunshine on the south side, and she's like, do you know any makeup artists that might want to use this studio here? Because she's got a whole studio set up. Maybe there's a connection there.
Maybe there is.
Did we say One and All? We should shout out
One
the
and
name
All,
of the program.
The name of the program is One and All. It is a great 2-month program for those that are interested in being in business, feel like they have an ideal. They just started the 4th cohort.
Yep.
You get incredible support. I connected with some people that are in business here, Victoria, Dan, and Michelle, that are in business, and they became family for me. So if you're interested in it, I would say to look for the next cohort after this one that just got started. But it's an incredible program. I'm glad that I'm a part of it.
You know, I've participated in a lot of different accelerators and stuff like that, and people do get close when they're in a cohort together. But One and All, I think, starts with that. It starts with compassion and love for each other and support and building each other up. I think it's a very unique program. I'm very proud to be part of it.
Yeah, so. I do too. I agree wholeheartedly.
So let's get into you a little bit. Where were you born and raised and went to school? And what's your deal?
Okay, so I'm a transplant. I was born and raised in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I am one of 5 girls. I have to be straight in the center. I have 2 older sisters, 2 younger sisters. Very close-knit family, very close to my parents. I went to parochial schools, which are kind of rigid and strict, but I loved it. I loved every bit of it. I came to Lansing in '93, I believe, to start my career. I started off, most people don't know, I was in full-time ministry. I'm an ordained minister. And I was in it full-time on staff for almost 20 years. And when I left to return to the corporate world. I was a corporate trainer for some period of time. I worked in the drug testing arena for a bit of time. And now I work for city government and city treasury. I've always had a heart for and a passion for helping and assisting people. I live my life in service to people. So this is not a mission statement or a vision statement for me. It's who I am. I am honored to have the people that I come in contact with. And I really do believe in putting people first and looking at the big picture. And so I've always loved the idea of business, and I've had my hands in it in some way, shape, or form of my colleague, a family member, a business, do the research that's necessary, do the marketing, help them with their brand, help them with their logo. So I thought that I would, put myself in that arena, and that's what I did when I became a part of the lead program. So that's me in a nutshell. I'm funny most of the time. I can be, no, I can't. I can be serious, but for the most part, I am the most down to earth person that really just wants to know, get to know people, and to help them in any way I can. I mean, I know that sounds kind of nerdy, but that's me.
I think that you and I, every time we meet, we laugh and have
Mhm.
fun the entire time. I don't even know if we even get any work done. We don't.
No.
So, what can an ordained minister do?
What can an ordained minister do? I think the thing that I've learned, first of all, I think that there are a lot of misnomers about people that are in ministry. So I can tell you about my experience, and I hope that it trumps and rid you of any ill, you know, attitudes or conventional way of thinking that you have for a person. What I've learned from being in ministry is that every individual person is significant. They're unique. They're here for a reason. They're here for a purpose, and that their lane may be different from mine, but I'm to be respectful of it and to help them in any way, shape, form that I can. I am not critical. I am not judgmental. I don't take my life and who I am in my life in what I believe and try to lord it over who you are. More importantly, I'm hoping that my light shines and that you experience me in that way instead of me sitting down and saying, you better not do that. Don't you do that. Don't you do this. That is not me.
Can I cut that out of this show and use it as a promotional video for the Every Damn Day show? Because you almost articulated exactly what I think when I want to do this show.
You can. That is me in a nutshell. I am not religion. I have a relationship with somebody that I love with my whole heart, and that is Christ. But I don't lord it over everybody. I am an expression of Him, and I hope that I am someone that you can become connected with, that motivates you, encourages you, and equips you to do and be the best that you can be in life. So that's me.
I love it a lot. In Grand Rapids, I used to live on the east side, on Wealthy and Benjamin.
Oh my God, that was my stuff.
I was going to ask you because, well, first of all, it's kind of been gentrified since I lived there. I bought the house for like $27,000, and the price today is like $180,000. What? And I was going to ask you if that's. I thought for a second that it was, because that was a predominantly black neighborhood back there on Wealthy and I guess is it east? Yeah. What do you think about all that?
I think if it was able to benefit the people that have lived and raised their children in the area, I think it would be great. But they have all of this additional zoning and all of this money come in, and then they don't tell anybody about it. And then the next thing you know, like right now, I lost my mother almost 2 years ago. And my mother lived in her house for almost 50 years. 45 years of my life were spent in that house. And so now when I go back home, my subconscious takes me to my mother's street. I check in on neighbors that are still there. But even now, my mother's neighborhood is completely going through that very same change. And it's disheartening because when they were there, they didn't hardly get, when my mother died, and I know that my mother knew that she was dying. She battled cancer 4 times. And this last time, she didn't tell us because I believe she wanted to finish strong and for us to enjoy who she was. But I know now that she knew she was dying. She already had the house sold before she passed away. And so now when I look at what that house sold at and what she sold it for, it makes me angry because it's gone up that much in the area that she's in. So yeah, it did happen to that whole area over there where you used to live.
So I have 3 subjects there. The first subject is sorry about your mother's passing. And I know that had a profound impact on you. And then I just had an epiphany about generational wealth and equity, because gentrification gets in the middle of that as well, right? So not only is there historical reasons that hasn't happened, racist, systemic racist reasons, but also gentrification is another tool.
It is. Because when they sold her house and we saw what it was that she sold it for, and then I promise you, it wasn't that long where they came in and they did a little bit of work on the house and put it right back out on the market, and it went for maybe 5 times the amount.
Wow, that's
5 times the amount.
that's criminal.
And when I came into the city, like I said, my subconscious took me to my mom's because that's where I went to. That was the hub for my family. And I went in and actually met the couple that bought the house. I'm standing at the door, and she answered the door. She was just like, "How can I help you?" And tears started rolling down my eyes, and I said, the only thing that could come out was my mom, and she said, "You're Miss Lewis's daughter." Everybody in the neighborhood told her about my family and about my mother, and that just blessed me. She brought me in, we sat down and talked. She asked me about my mom and everything like that. But then again, when I thought about how much that house sold for, I was like, I felt like they got taken,
Right.
as well, because yeah, it just wasn't good. And then the whole landscape is changed. So I mean, we want to work on that.
Restaurants that are too expensive. I mean, we had what's that place called? Yesterdog.
Yes,
Right?
and you know what? It's still there, but they have really brought in a whole. It looks like a whole new. I feel like I'm looking at Architectural Digest or something. For real, they have really gone in and just restructured everything. Yeah,
Let's do that.
yeah,
And that you hinted at something I was going to bring up as we started talking about gentrification, and like if they warn the people what was going to happen, then they can prepare a lot
Yeah.
better, right?
Yeah.
And even start to fix up their house
Yes.
if they're in a position to. But I always thought gentrification was sort of one-sided. It is one-sided. I mean, one-dimensional,
Yeah.
in that you people start buying up houses, they raise the price on rent or the value or whatever, and it pushes the people that were there out. But one of the things that we can fight with fight gentrification is prosperity for the people.
Yeah.
So if you're getting more prosperous and the neighborhood is getting better, then that's how it's supposed to work, right?
And I think that's where leaders, business leaders, have to be responsible in being not only connected to those resources and those channels that assist them. That's where social entrepreneurship is important to me, because we need to be connected to our local government fixtures, and we need to be connected to the real estate things that are going on. Every single component that affects the life and the lifestyle of the people that live in that community, because we become the outreach. There's a lot, like right now, I was just thinking about, there is so much federal and state money that is available, not only for business, but if you have issues with paying your rent, there's just so much. But there is no outreach, none. I've talked to I don't know how many business people that are worried about feeding their families, and they have no idea, because we think about the resources based upon where we're at. And we have to start thinking about how some of these people don't have the notion to go out because they have lost so much hope that they need somebody to come and stand in front of them and equip them with what they need until they can get back on their feet. We have the pandemic. You have no food. You have fear. You have the fear of being on the streets. You have kids at home that have isolation issues now, that might be going back to school, but they're scared, but then they might be at home and they need socialization. So as business leaders, to me, we are the tool, because we had the notion to have a vision to do business, which means that we want to employ people, which means that people should be the center of what we're doing. People, their lives, their lifestyles, what's going on in their family. That's why the 7 clients that I have right now, the first thing that I do with them, I have a profile. I know not only ask them.
Let's hold on for 1 second, because I want to get into that. Okay. I'm going to bring you right back there. Okay. Too many amazing things that you said that I want to kind of comment on. I think that exactly what you're saying, where there's no outreach, where it's really not people-centered, it's not about the people, and the governments get them in, or the institutions get this in, and they take a huge admin chunk or whatever, and it ends up not really helping the people that really need help. And I like what you were saying about all of the things that people are thinking about. It's hard for them to think about a future, like 3 weeks, 6 weeks, 6 months into the future, because they're thinking about how to feed their kids and I talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
And
It's really,
you come at me not come at me. You and I have talked about what you want to do, and some people would look at you and I and say, well, they're competitors. Why are they friends? Why are they working together? Why are they collaborating? And to me, we need more of you. We need lots of you.
we need collaboration. That is one of the focal points of my business, is that one business can't hit it all.
That's right.
One consultancy, one incubator can't hit it all, because I believe this with my whole heart. I believe that there is a set demographic that is for you, and that when they come to you, that you'll be able to help them and meet their needs. But I believe on a wider scale, that collaboration between leaders with the people in mind gives us a pool to further be able to help and assist each other. So I never feel the threat of competition, because if I had somebody that was suited for you, they're going to you. If I don't have the skill set, I can't, Jerry, I can't crash in my lane,
Right.
because I'm driving it skillfully. But if I try to come into your lane with what you do well, effortlessly, then I'm gonna crash and burn, and then I'm gonna take someone with me. But if I can humble myself and recognize that I don't know it all and I can't be it all, which usually overwhelms people, it's part of the mental health talk that we'll have to have later on, then I can send them to you and rest assured that they're being taken care of, because I know you. That's collaboration.
That's right. So, if we were people centered and we optimized for that person, it might cost you a little bit or cost me a little bit in revenue.
Yeah.
But the puzzle, it's abundant and it's going to fit together anyway. So, because there's going to be people that I reciprocate that with, there's going to be people, they might outgrow me or they outgrow you or they need something different. So, we'll share. I'll share all.
For me, it's called song. It's just like if we look out right now, it's a perfect illustration. Everything that you see right here on your yardway is because you put a seed in the ground. So it doesn't take rocket science to know that with the right kind of care, that you're going to have something come up out of the ground that you're going to be able to give to someone. If I sow something into you, when it comes time for me to have a need, I don't have a worry in the world, because it'll come when it's supposed to come. That's just the way that I do it.
It's amazing how kindness, compassion, love are so infinite. And you give a little away, and you look in your pocket, and there's a lot more there than you thought there was.
And I'm tired of, I lived the first part of my career chasing money. So for me now, it is all about purpose. Helping people to find their purpose. Providence will be there waiting for you. Just make sure you have an excellent product, that you've done your due diligence and your research, and that you have people in mind, and you will always be taken care of. When you have money in mind, you're going to burn, crash, have mental issues, probably going to psychological analysis, and there's nothing wrong with that either, but you will perpetuate stuff on yourself that's unnecessary. And I'm 56-year-old, so I feel like I've just learned some stuff.
I'm going to be 55 September 2nd.
Yeah.
My Cash App. No, I'm just kidding. So I interrupted you. That is why when I start working with my clients, I think you're going to say.
So when I start working with my clients, one thing that I do is oftentimes we'll take down their information, find out what their mission statement is, their vision statement, what they're currently working on, their timeline, how much they get paid an hour, so I do all of that, but I have another side to the profile sheet that I do with my clients that lists their birthday, if they're married, their anniversary, their children, the hobbies that they like, their favorite restaurant. All of these are things that allows me to connect with them. And when you connect with somebody, it allows you to be able to help them in ways that you could not before. Case in point, when you first sit down and meet with a client, for me, I'm listening to the words that they say that give me messages as to where they want to go. When I add that second sheet, then my biological ear shuts down and my intuitive ear picks up, because now I know them. I can start listening to their heart. I can listen to their passion. I can see where they're going. And that is really what enables me to connect with them on another level and begin to build a brand, or begin to build a campaign, or begin to put together the pieces for a website. Because I'm not looking at technical skill sets, but I'm looking at this individual as somebody that's special, that has something that they want to do in life, and I have the tools now in order to be able to help them to do that. So that's why I build this specific profile that gives me that personal information that allows me to celebrate them when they need it. That allows me to send them cards and say, hey, I was thinking about you today. I want to make sure that you're on track. You can do this. Motivational cards allows me to do some extra special stuff that is a part of our humanity that has nothing to do with the business. But that person that is the man or the woman behind the music, that's the person that I really wanted to be connected.
So, I'm bringing this up to preface something else, but Eric Schertzing was on the show last week.
Okay.
You know him, right? The
He is
Inland County
yeah,
treasurer.
yeah.
Is that I don't think you're the city of Lansing's treasurer,
City
right?
of Lansing treasurer.
Oh, you work for them, right?
Yes.
So we don't think that people are kind and compassionate that work in accounting or treasury or government even, but both of you are.
Yeah.
I mean,
for me, I've been there since February, and you have to know that anytime you work within a governmental structure, especially when it deals with money, there are a lot of protocols. But even with protocols, I have human beings on the phone.
that's right.
I deal with a lot of seniors that are at home, that are trying to get their taxes taken care of, that are trying to get their property taxes taken care of. Some of them are on Social Security, and they might not have the monies available. So I've spent a lot of time putting together a list of social service areas so that when they call, I am not only working in the capacity of giving them the stuff that we have available to them with the city treasurer's office, but the resources that our city has in place for them. We have foundations here in the city that help people pay for their taxes. They wouldn't have known that. So if I was the average person that was going to be on the phone and I was just like, no, the taxes are due on the 31st, make sure you had them paid, click, that wouldn't be good. But I believe in dealing with a person's humanity. I had one woman call and it so hurt my heart. She said, I've been saving up to pay for my taxes. She wrote a letter, but I was saving up for my hearing aids too. I don't know what I'm going to do. I got home that night and I started calling audiologists to see if they do in-kind work for people that are in the city that are low income when it comes to things of that nature. And she got exactly what she needed. You know, I'm not tooting my own horn, but I believe in any position that you get in, you can stick to the rules or you can be the extra mile. You can really get done what a person needs because they have a stigma when it comes to government because we don't want to be exceptional at what we do. We want to just do what's expected. And I have to be honest with you, I'm not cut from that cloth. I'm a Whitfield. I wasn't raised that way. I was not raised that way. I was raised to help and to serve people. And so I do that, and I do it with the pat on the back from the person that I work for. I let them know exactly what I'm doing in order to assist, especially that population of people that are really in need of help right now because of what's going on and they can't get it. So,
Daphne told me she was going to sit still in the same position when we did the show, but I said, no, you're not, because your passion's going to start coming
people.
out.
I do. I mean, I can't tell you all enough how I love people. It's one person. I mean, think about it, guys. One person can change the trajectory of your life. You know, Lee, one and all, Jerry, Millie, Rachel, every single person that is a part of this organization that I've had the opportunity to sit in front of, I have notes that I've written down based on what they have said that has changed my perspective, that has changed my outlook, that has garrisoned my confidence. One person. And so that's why it's so important for you to take care of that one person when they're sitting in front of you. Give them your undivided attention. It's almost like being in a romantic relationship. You know what you do. So that's what you need to do with people.
So let's get into the Dunfield group a lot more.
Okay.
So
the Dunfield group, we help to build, create, connect, and collaborate when it comes to business. So I have 7 clients right now. I just kind of give you an idea of what areas of industry they're in. I have a person that has a car detailing business, a caterer, a nonprofit organization that works with young people in a mentoring program in the area of academia and education. I have a person that owns a cleaning and organization business. I have a person that is a photographer. And all of these different people came to me. assist them with. I'm doing some rebranding for some of them, helping them set themselves up because a couple of them are very, very brand new in business. I am helping, and so if you're out there and you're that person, please put in the comments because I believe in putting money into the hands of the businesses that are right here in my city. And so I need an application for one of the people. They told me that they found somebody online that's in California. I am trying to stimulate the economy of Michigan and Lansing. So if you build applications for small business people, I am looking for somebody with that. I am helping them. One person I'm helping to do a campaign right now to really get themselves out there, start creating literature for their business. I think the thing that is most fun for me right now is something that I've never done before. I have a client who has a patented product that is being introduced to collegiate sports and to the NFL. I'm excited to help this person go through the process of the licensing and getting the application in, which was pretty much kind of in process before COVID started. And then they said, we can't do anything because we're not doing anything really with sports. And so he didn't, really know how to go about getting things started. I went to resources that I have connected with him and have been helping him to retool some things because if he does one college or one NFL team, it's done. And this guy has really worked very hard. So I'm very excited about helping him with that. I am all about, our company is all about, as I stated before, creating, building, connecting, and collaborating within our city and assisting small business people with getting the resources, the tools, and the finances necessary that they need to start up. The only other component that I feel like I have that most people may not, or they're not intentional with it, is I have a mentorship component. And for me, I love assisting people and provoking their confidence and provoking them to think in ways that they haven't before. I have one client that it's been hard. And they're like, I don't know what to do. And I'm trying to figure this all out, Daph. And I'm like, okay, let's look at things based on paper first. And then let's look when we dream. I have what's called a creation station, and it's a chair. And I have them sit in it. And I'm like, in this creation station, you sit there and you think about what you would do if you had no limitations on your ability to be able to put your business out there and do exactly what you want. And so I have them do that to kind of de-escalate the situation and then to have them be inspired and have hope again. And then we sit down and we go over what we can do on a daily basis in order to carry those things out. And she said, well, Daph, I just never been in a dark spot like this before. And I was like, well, when light gets in darkness, it shines. You call on the side of you that has yet to come into existence. I really believe that adverse situations and challenges cause us to see the greater side of ourselves that never would come into existence without it. You have to think about all the great inventions that have come into existence. One that I think of off the top of my head is Thomas Jefferson. He made 1,000 light bulbs before he got it right, before it shined and illuminated and the band didn't break. But it took time and effort, and that's what your vision has to be. You have to put the effort into it. And that's what I was telling this young lady because she wanted it quick, fast, and in a hurry. And I was like, it's not like that. You burn character and integrity. You understand the value of something when you have worked on it and put your heart and your blood, sweat, and tears into it. And she was like, okay. So she's doing much better. I just tried to help people with perspectives to change so they can see that when you get past your emotions that impede your productivity and create emotions that push you, then you'll be able to get to the scope of work that needs to be done for you to be the beast that you're called to be. Meow.
So, a quick question: do you think your being a minister helped you be more poetic in the way that you inspire and talk about your business?
I do, because when you think about mixing ministry with anything, most people are just like, don't come for me with that Jesus stuff. That's just how they are. But I've been doing this for 30 years. So I've been at the table with somebody and sat down with people that are on the streets. And I've sat down with the multi-million-dollar organizations. I've been through the gamut of everything. And the thing that grounds me is I love them all. I love them all. And I really believe, like I said at the beginning of the story, that this showed that everybody, every single person is unique. Your bent is created for you, that there's something significant for you to do in life. Every single one of the traumas that you've experienced, because you're like, Daph, you don't know. You don't know what I've been through. They're tools. They're tools in every single one of them traumas that should be in your belt. I hear people talk all the time about how I have luggage. I've been carrying it around. Okay, if it's the right kind of luggage, then there's tools inside of that luggage that you can use. There was something to be learned. Go back and look at it. There's something for you to learn, and it's really the equipment for you to be able to go on in life. If there's somebody just like you that went through the very same thing that is waiting for you to do what you need to do so that they can know by physical virtue that you're standing there, that you made it, that they can make it too. So ministry has equipped me and given me what I consider to be kind of like a wisdom, because I love everybody, and it's taught me to be respectful of whether you have religion or not.
The one thing that I really respect about that, and that I'm a heathen, everyone knows that, right? And you've never preached at me, you've never prayed over me, you've never even. I don't need that, because you just give me love, and I give you love back, and that's all we need.
That's what we need. That's it in a nutshell. So no, I'm not that person like Jerry.
Don't finish that sentence.
I'm not that person. I'm not that person. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's without flaw. I am not even here with all the things that he's saying to me and the questions that I'm asking. This is who I am, but I am not without flaw. I am not this perfect person. I don't have a big old giant S on my chest that makes me superwoman. Now, am I a beast? Yeah, I'm really, really very intentional. If you don't feel it, I hope you do by the time this is done. I am intentional in my efforts to make people feel and be their best. But outside that, I am flawed. I have issues. I have struggles that I work on that are my own, and makes me human. But no, I'm not a judge. Mm-mm.
So did we, or life, I guess, really, not just one and all in the fledge and stuff like that, but we've created a machine that's creating other machines, right? So you're coming out with the Dunfield group and saying, I'm going to create more or help people.
Yeah.
You don't create.
Yeah.
Right? But you help people
along
that journey.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it a lot. I heard something, is there a rumor you're going to start something new?
Yeah, okay. So I've been saying this for quite some time. So me being on this show today is going to put me out there. So I have been wanting to do a podcast, and its name is On the Playing Field. And my ideal for the podcast was to create a booming, thriving, creative community that comes together once a week. And I bring on somebody like Jerry that has been in the entrepreneurial pool for quite some time. And then I bring somebody that is a part of our creative community that might be having an issue when it comes to their business. And we bring them on and we find out what it is, and then we go live. And you in the community, help me to help this person by giving them some ideals, some resources within your network that might possibly help them to get beyond this issue that they're having. And so I've been wanting to start this since I graduated from the cohort that I was in with One and All, and I have been absolutely afraid. I am the extreme extrovert in certain things, and I am the extreme introvert when it comes to other things. So I am putting it out there that this week coming up, that I am going to start on the playing field. And I'm asking you all, I'm going to start the Dunfield group page on Facebook and on the playing field. And I'm asking you all if you're really interested in pouring back into the hearts and lives of those that are entrepreneurs here in Lansing and want to be of an assistance in a very, very organic way, that you come to my page and that you connect with me so that you can be a part of this community that helps to help those that are here in the business community in our city.
So can I be your accountability buddy in that and say, hey, where's the show?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm putting myself out there, yeah.
Are you and I going to keep, is it this week or?
This Monday.
This Monday, you and I are chatting?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So I'll hold her accountable, and she'll tell me whatever she really wants to do, and I'll just tell her down or something. I don't know. She's a Whitfield. So any other projects, any other things you want to get out there?
Well, there's one other project that it lies up under the auspices of the Dunfield group that I'm going to be doing. I was going to try to do it in October, but I'm going to put it off until spring of next year. And it's called Excellent Empowerment, and it is a component that is near and dear to my heart as well, and it has to do with women that are in business. We have a lot of incredible women in business in our city, and we have a lot of incredible women organizations. These organizations help women to stay connected in business, give them tools, new stuff that comes out. I wanted to create a spot in the spring and in the fall for women to come and be nothing but inspired. That the whole time that we have together is solely for them to come and it be all about them. And so I started working with some of Lansing's business leaders to set up my nonprofit, because this will be a nonprofit, and start putting together my agenda. I will say that those that will be speaking first will be some of the incredible women that I met as a result of the program that I was, the one and all program that I was a part of with Lee. And so, if you're a woman in business, I'd love for you to be a part of it. And the whole agenda, the whole time together is about you. You don't have to bring a book. You don't have to bring a notebook, a pencil, or paper. It has nothing to do with the CEU, but it's for you to come and get poured into, so that you can have the strength to be the woman, the mom, the sister, the auntie, the businesswoman, the CEO, whatever position or role that you play in life, so that you will be encouraged to go on and be great and do what you need.
Raise your hand if you want to hire her right now. So this is amazing. You know, you and I don't know. I think you came here and did your first pitch video or something like that, and I feel like, did we hit it off?
Yes, we did.
Felt like it.
Because I was so nervous.
And it was the same thing though. It was just you and I talking, getting to know each other a little bit, and then you rocked it out of the house.
I just did it. He was like, Daph, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it once, I'm gonna do it again. He was like, Daph, you can do this. I did the pitch, I started crying. I was like, but it was good. He's always been, that's one of the things that I love most about Jerry, is that the work that he does with the Fledge and with our community and the advocacy that he does is really who he is. He has no hidden agendas, nothing that he's trying to do backhanded. He's very integrous. And the thing that I love more importantly is that he is himself. There is not a form or a fashion that he goes by except for him. And that's why the community has embraced him, and he's been around for quite some time. And I think that's to be noted and to be commended. And so I always love sitting down and talking to him.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We're going to get back to you really quick. So what's something you do every damn day to push your mission forward?
I have a lot of, various leadership components and books that I read. I'm a person that spends a lot of time. Now, when I say this, I don't mean personal development where I'm nitpicking, but personal development where the consistent components that make up Daphne, that I'm fortifying. And then the weak areas where I'm at, I either have someone in my life to help me to become better, because you're just going to have weaknesses until you're gone. I'm sorry for y'all that think that you just go, one day you're going to be like, dun, dun, dun. It's not going to happen. But I strengthen what I have. I fortify the areas where I am weak, and I get the help in the area that is needed. I make sure that I'm reading. I make sure that I'm engaging. I went yesterday. I'm on the board for the Ingham County Health Centers. This past week was Health Care Worker Appreciation Week. So I was trying to figure out, how can I do something that lets these people know that we're appreciative of the things that they do on a daily basis. And so I went and I got cards for all of the Ingham County Health Centers leadership to tell them thank you. And then I went and bought like 6 or 7 bags of the individual lifesavers. And I went to the health care centers, and I went to the main one on Cedar. And I just walked through everywhere, and I told them, I said, you help save lives. I said, you're a lifesaver. And so today I just want to let you know that we appreciate you. We don't say it enough. And it was so funny how many people started crying. They're doing this work. They've been, some of them there, and had not had a break since COVID started. And they love the communities that they're serving. So something as simple as a lifesaver piece of candy allowed me to let them know and express to them that that's what you've been doing the whole time. So I do little components of things like that to make sure that I stay connected every day. If it's not calling somebody or going out and being a part of something, I do it intentionally every day so that I'm connected to the areas that I'm serving.
Beautiful. So I daisy chained the shows together, and yesterday on the show I had Jazz and Paul from Stay Rooted Shop. They ship house plants all over the country, I think, maybe the world. And their question for you is, what do you do to stay rooted?
Okay. So there's this form of growing called shade grown. This is so funny. Shade grown, the most that you hear about is shade grown coffee. So shade grown coffee is exceptional because you take these trees and you put them all around the coffee trees, and the coffee trees are protected. So coffee that is in the direct sunlight is poor quality. It's just not good at all. But when you put them above with these trees staggered around them, and they're usually like this tall, this tall, this tall, this till they create this incubator, and they cover the trees and they make this awesome, awesome coffee that tastes so good that I love. But the trees that they use are called deep root trees. So the coffee is grown in an environment where it has everything that it needs, but it also has more than enough because these deep root trees don't feed from up top, they feed from on the bottom. I stay rooted. I said all of that to say I stay rooted by always remembering on the bottom that my driving force, what feeds me, is that I'm feeding you. That I'm never the center. Because when I become the center, I become narcissistic. I become self-absorbed. I become a force that wants to be reckoned with. I become combative. I become sick. I become so driven to do what I want to do that that taste is never satisfied. But when I look at what the bottom is and that I'm feeding for the sole purpose of being a feeder, then it keeps me grounded and it's satisfying to my soul. I mean, it does something for me that acquiring a title or acquiring a piece of property can never do, because I can look at a life that has been impacted, that has been changed, that is going in the direction that it needs to go into. And I had a role, a part that I played in that. So that is really what keeps me free.
I have some amazing guests, don't I, guys? Great answer. Great answer.
Thank you.
So tomorrow on the show, I've got Jennifer Medler. She owns the Flower Box Bakery, and I think she's just starting Jennifer Jean Designs. What question would you like me to pass on to her?
I think for me, what inspires you? Whatever inspires you keeps you focused. And most business people, when you find yourself getting overwhelmed or things are getting hard, you have to trace yourself back to the point that you wanted to start. And it was always a source of inspiration. For me, the Dunfield group is the combination of my parents' first and last name. I don't have my parents' name. But there were things that are part of the legacy that they poured into me that I want to remain alive. So whenever I say that name, it reminds me of them. And my mother was my source of inspiration. My mother was very simplistic, but she was a woman that loved. You know, I was the one that did my mother's service. You know, at first we were going to have a minister come in and do it. And I was just like, hold on, can't nobody eulogize my mother like I can. And it blessed my heart to see the fruit of her life. There were deans from multiple colleges. There were people that were community and civic leaders from the city of Grand Rapids. And there were all of these people, both young and old, that called her either G-Ma, Granny, Granddiva, Grandma. She had all of these different names. She and my father and my family have really been my source of inspiration. And then outside of that, what inspires me is the lives that I have the honor of being in front of. And from sitting down and talking to people, just like I sit down and talk and engage with Jerry, and finding out that there might be some little areas that might be tweaked and they don't know what to do. Making that connection and being able to be there for them is there's something you can find inspire you every day, but there's a root. There's something that holds you together and grounds you. And it's all the things that my parents taught me when I was coming up as a child and even as an adult that really are my source of inspiration. So I think what inspires you is vitally important because it'll bring you back when you feel like I'm here to fall out on the ground and kick my feet, I'm done, I'm running in that direction, not coming back. But I think that would be a great question.
I love the question. And just a reminder to everybody, I'll also be making a TikTok in about an hour where I present that question to you, and I'm looking for you to stitch with me and answer that question. So, and I'll answer it myself as well. So
Awesome.
you got to find it on TikTok though. So you heard the bell. That means that Capital Pro Wrestling is about to start. So I'm just going to give one more quick shout out there today at 3, $15 at the door if you want to see the only pro wrestling currently happening in Lansing, I think. So, all right, next thing. Happiness, sadness, joy, love, or hope. Which word or words would you like to talk about? Hope. Why hope? Or go ahead and
Hope, because it's the thing that we lack the most. We're sitting in a post-pandemic culture. We are 600,000 people less, 6 million people less in the world. We are without jobs. The simplest things in life that once were a convenience are inconvenient right now. We are all in a place where we are either going to succumb to ourselves and be like, I need this, I need that, I need this. Everything becomes autobiographical to me. Or we're going to reach into ourselves and be the person that is able to help somebody else. I want to leave you with this story.
Well, if you're going to leave it with us, you want to leave us with the story for the show? You're taking us out? All right.
I was studying for a class that I had, and I came up on a story about Taiwan, and they had an incredible, horrible tsunami, and the tsunami killed over 20,000 people, and some people lost everyone in their family. This one young man lost 5 generations. He's the only one. They sent hundreds and hundreds of psychiatrists and psychologists to the country to study the effects. And the whole study had to do with post-traumatic stress disorder and what its lingering effects would have on this culture and how it ultimately was affected for years to come. They were over there 5 to 7 years. When they came back, I was astounded to learn that nobody had. And the reason why they said they didn't is because they were a collective culture that were accustomed to thinking about everyone instead of self when it came to meeting needs. So when it came time for the houses to be rebuilt, for the lives to be rebuilt, they already had engraved in them from generation to generations that we are one, that we collectively work for us, not we're over here by myself. And I said that to say that we have to have the mindset that there's an us, that collectively we make up this great component called humanity, and that in some way, shape, or form, even if I'm not in your face, what you do and what I do, we're affecting one another. Why not have it be good? Why not have it be something that leaves a footprint that those that are after us can use to continue to be more? Thank you.
Thank you so very much for being on the show. I gotta put Kiana up and make sure her name's out there. Yay, Daphne is what she typed. So I love this show. Thank you, again so very much. All right, everyone. Every damn day at 2 p.m. We'll have another guest tomorrow. And